Good luck.
Thank you.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün global kariyer hedefleyenler için Jönköping University özel programlarını CES'den dinliyoruz. Lütfen sorularınızı bazı questions bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes,
thank you very much, Zeynep, and thank you, Hazil, as well. So, hi everyone. My name is Jasim Sheikh. And as you guys can see that I'm not a typical Swedish because I'm not a blonde. And obviously you can sense that I'm not from this country anyways. So I once upon a time came to this country as a student myself back in 2005. So I've been living in this country for a very long time. Long enough that I don't even remember how many years, perhaps it's what, 5, 15, 16 years. When I was coming to this country, I told my father that I'm going to come back in 2 years of time after finishing my master's education. But the funny thing is my father sometimes calls me up and asks, hey, by the way, Jasim, when are your 2 years finishing? And I tell him that they're still going on. So my 2 years are pretty long 2 years. Which are still going on for 16 years, basically. So this is how the life is, perhaps, and why these 2 years have become 16 years is because of the fact that I'm originally from Pakistan, and when I came to this country, I kind of realized that this country offers so many values which perhaps I could not find in my country. For example, law and order, like cleanliness, the equality, the possibilities to really, find your creativity, the possibilities of creating your own future. Lot of those kind of freedom, which perhaps younger population or population at my age really wanted to have. So those kind of things really inspired me to stay back in the country. And we are going to touch upon those kind of things in my presentation as well, which I'm going to shortly begin. So during this presentation, we could, talk about why it makes sense for you guys to think about choosing Sweden as a country for your education, or why it also makes sense for you guys to perhaps think about Jönköping University as one of your choices for your higher education. So we are going to discuss all of those things during my presentation, and I will share my screen right now so that you have, sorry, my screen is already shared, but I'm going to bring the presentation in front of you guys. So let's see. Zainab, are we good to go with the presentation?
Can you go to display settings again, Jasim?
Okay, just hold on.
Perfect.
Is it? Yeah, perfect. Great. So as you guys can see, the first slide says create your own tomorrow. So what does that mean is basically, I think about it, like any other investment in your life, education is also kind of an investment, right? But the difference between this investment and the other investments are that perhaps if you make a bad investment, you can still perhaps sell it or get out of it in some way. Fairly soon enough, once you realize that it was perhaps not so good or not so prospective investment. But education, higher education, is something that once you have invested into, then it's extremely impossible to get out of it, because think about it, you're going abroad for your higher education, you have chosen an education, you have already paid fee. Once you have come here, you're obviously not going to ask, hey, I want my investment back because I don't like this education, or I don't like this university, or I don't like this country, for example. So you don't have those kind of choices. You need to be extremely careful once you are making this choice, and I think the best possibility of understanding this is to really understand that how and what people are doing who already came to this country, who already graduated from this university. What are they doing right now, and how their future is built, or what kind of platform does this country and this university provides for students to build their future. So we will talk about all of that in this presentation, and that is why the first slide is about create your own tomorrow. So we believe that we want our students who come to study with us, they can create their own tomorrow. And we are going to provide that platform for them. So let's talk about first thing first, that is Sweden, what Sweden is as a country. It's, you can see small, beautiful pictures, snow, obviously. Many people associate Sweden with pretty cold. And I can agree, yes, and I can also agree bit, in some ways that it depends where you are in Sweden, basically. I mean, if you are pretty down in the south, it could be still cold, but not as cold as you would experience up in north, obviously. So it really depends where you are in the country. And but the snow brings a lot of different kind of experience for you. I mean, I come from a country where I do not have snow where I live in my country, but I kind of survived it here, and I love snow. Especially snow. I don't like the cold, dry winters, but I really like white snow so that everything lights up. It looks beautiful, and there are a lot of different kind of activities you can do during that time. Then obviously Sweden is known for its mild summers, which have the landscape becomes extremely beautiful. It's pretty green. There are a lot of lakes, a lot of water. And the architect, the buildings, the structures are beautiful. And it's yeah. I mean, it has perhaps one of the most phenomenal landmarks. For example, like IKEA or one of the pictures is showing us that it's a gala dinner arranged for Nobel Prize holders. So it's a home for Nobel Prize activities, and it's one of the most innovative countries in the EU according to European Innovation Scoreboard. These are some of the companies which we have in our country, which are international companies as well, and they most often will have offices perhaps almost everywhere you go. So for example, IKEA, H&M, Spotify, SEB, AstraZeneca, Volvo, all of these, H&M, all of these are companies which you might maybe not know so much that they are Swedish, but they are Swedish, and they employ a lot of people all around the world, and they have offices all across different continents, and they have obviously offices in Turkey as well. Sustainability. So since we are still talking about why Sweden and what makes Sweden to be a unique option for you to come and get your education. So sustainability is one of the criteria which is very dear to my heart. And why is it so dear to my heart? I'm just going to narrate one story and try to tell you why Sweden makes this to be a very special place to really experience this and also learn about this. So when I was a student here, I remember that I was eating my I think dinner, and I had some metal jar and I had some glass jar and then eatables. And after I was done with eating, I was going to throw everything together into a dustbin and back in 2006, a long time back. And I'm living in a dormitory in a student house. So just imagine living in a dormitory in 2006 in a student house. Who cares, right? So I was there, and I was going to throw my garbage, and I still remember we had this girl Linda, who came over to me and she said, "Hey, Jasim, what are you doing?" Excuse me. Yeah. So she said, "Hey, Jasim, what are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean? I'm just throwing my garbage." And she said, "You cannot throw your garbage like this, because we throw the eatables in the paper bag, not the plastic bag, and throw it in this bin, and then the glass jar in this one, and the metal jar in this one." And I asked her, "Why would you do that?" And then she said, "Because we reuse them, and we convert the eatables into biofuel." And I was just, looking at her like as if I was the alien on Earth. And so I learned a basic lesson that day, that the education is not just about learning from the university, but it's so much from the society as well. And if the society is already it's a first world country, and obviously they are living the economic rules which are for the first world countries. So you can learn quite much, and you can leapfrog that knowledge once you come here and learn all of this, which you might not learn so easily in your country, for example. So also when it comes to sustainability, you guys are going to be really excited to know that it was one of the Swedish physicists, Svante Arrhenius, who came up with the concept of greenhouse emissions that back in 1800, I think 1800 something, and the idea that he proposed was that the greenhouse gases will have an impact on the environment. And he was right. He could already foresee the future already back in 1800, that we would have the impact on our CO2 emissions, from all of the industry we are creating, or we are going to create. So that is quite exciting. And so imagine Swedish people have the roots to think about the environment, think about the climate already back in 1800. So that is how deep the roots are for Swedish society when it comes to sustainability. And when it comes to energy consumption, for example, in the country, even though it's a very cold country, but yet the half of the energy consumed comes from renewable resources. And half of the energy consumed in the district level for heating the houses, for example, comes from the leftovers from a lot of different kind of industries. For example, the residue from the logging industry, or some other material left from the other kind of industry. So they use that kind of waste material together and convert it back into energy for converting that energy, those material into heat energy for the houses. Innovation, that's another very exciting factor, which I really love about Sweden as a country. And why innovation? These are some of the innovations which I can just name. Pacemaker, ultrasound, dynamite. Pacemaker is something that is required for your heart when it fails to pump blood. Ultrasound is when women become pregnant and they have to, doctors have to measure the health of the fetus, or so the ultrasound is used to see that. The dialysis machine, when you lose, when your kidneys fail to circulate new blood, and so dialysis machines are used to infuse, diffuse and also infuse new blood into your body, or clean the blood. So the zipper, the ball bearing, the safety match, the adjustable wrench, Spotify, all of these are Swedish innovations, and which perhaps you might not really so much know about, but you might be using it in your daily life, for example. And when it comes to innovation, think about it. Try to do reverse engineering. Sweden is one of the most innovative countries in the world, and you can researched that on Google as well, and Sweden has been ranked maybe top 3 in the last maybe 5 years or something, or maybe more than that. And why is it one of the most innovative countries is because let's do reverse engineering. If you have innovation in your hand right now, which means that this innovation can come only into life if you have a very strong R&D in place. And our strong R&D can only happen if you have a strong master's education, and then you have a strong bachelor's education, and then you have a strong school system education, which all of these dots have to connect together to produce innovation in the end, because innovation in itself is a mindset that has to happen through your education system. And Sweden also, as per capita GDP basis, they invest a lot into R&D, and that's also one of the reasons for producing a lot of innovation. Equality. And when you think about, this is another factor which is, I think, especially for women. Why would I say that? Is because in this country, in my opinion, I think women have maybe more stronger rights than men, and that is quite odd, because you wouldn't find such an equality anywhere else other than perhaps Scandinavian countries, and or maybe more Western European countries, I would say. So equality is quite well known for Swedish society, and for example, when you have a newborn child, for example, and then you and both parents, the man and the wife or the woman, both get equal holidays based on 480 days or something, and so they could be divided equally for. And the funny thing is, a man can transfer his days to his wife or girlfriend or the partner, or the similar could be done by the women over to the man. But the man has to, each one of them have to minimum take 90 days anyways out of that. So it's based on quite equal systems, and you will see that women also enjoy pretty similar salaries in the society. We cannot discriminate against any religion, any casting system, or any any culture. So that are already part of the Swedish parliament rules and stuff. So Nobel Prize, it's I think we have spoken about it in my beginning of when I started up the presentation. So the dynamite, for example, is the Alfred Nobel was the guy who produced produced dynamite, and Nobel Prize is named after him. And Sweden is the country which hosts that every year. Yeah, okay. So here is a map where you can find Jönköping. Remember, I said it depends where you are in Sweden. If you're up in the north, if you're down in the south, if you can see the map of this country, Sweden, you can see it's a pretty long country, and up there is north, down below is south, where Malmö is written, but just a little bit up next to Gothenburg is Jönköping, and it's pretty down in the south. And if you look at Jönköping, and then on the right side you will see Stockholm, and once you go a little further up from Gothenburg, you will find Oslo, and then if you come further down from Malmö, you will see Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark. So if you look at it, Jönköping almost has equal distance to Stockholm, almost equal distance to Oslo, which is the capital of Norway, and then almost equal distance to Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark. So Jönköping is very strategically located, which almost have equal distances combining or connecting 3 different capitals together. And that is why Jönköping is also very well known for its logistical hub, because it can connect strategically to basically Scandinavian market. So Jönköping, so now we have spoken about Sweden, and now we are going to speak about Jönköping. Why Jönköping makes sense for you to think about choosing this as a destination for your education is because, first of all, it's a beautiful city. It is located next to the second largest lake, Lake Vättern. It has wide range of leisure and sports facilities. We have culture venues, and we have, say, about 130,000 inhabitants, of which I think approximately 12,000 of which are students, and 10% of the population of the city is approximately kind of students. So it's a very student-centric city. I don't know if you guys know about DreamHack, but it's also the home for DreamHack, where it's the world's largest LAN party network, where all people all around the world come together on a local area network, bring their computers and play games together, and then they get very high kind of prizes to play those games. And then we have a lot of music and culture and entertainment. And then by CNN, it's rated as one of the top 10 healthiest cities in the world. So if you're looking for health, so definitely Jönköping is the place to be in. So you will either if you're healthy, you'll become more healthier, and if your lifestyle is, if you think is not that healthy, then obviously your lifestyle can become extremely healthy once you come and reside in this city. So we have so Jönköping University is how we pronounce it, and we have 4 different schools. We have a business school, we have School of Engineering, we have School of Education and Communication, we have School of Health and Welfare. And if you look at the picture, it's actually the city picture, and it is a true picture. And the white building and the yellow buildings you see, and some of the buildings behind it are the university campuses. So, and it's a city center campus. And if you love water, you're not going to miss water because it's next to water. And then we have a lot of sports activities that are happening in the water, like canoeing, for example, which is quite expensive sports to begin with, but it's subsidized through university. That becomes quite cheap for our students to basically enjoy those kind of sports activities. And if you look at the structure of this building from the aerial view, you will see that it looks like a key, the white building and the yellow part. And the idea is that it should look like key to knowledge. And so I usually tell people, think about it. I mean, if we were so keen and concerned about how the structure of or the architect should look like from the aerial view, think about how much concern would we have or worrying part would we have in teaching quality of our education. So we every day strive for high quality of education. So we have, I think, some of things are really exciting. I mean, for example, we have 12,000 students, as I said before. We are ranked top 5 in the world for quality of education. So that's Sweden, which is ranked as that. 14% of our students start their own businesses. We have a very sustainable focus, and when I say that, which means that when we are educating our students, we are, all of the courses have somehow being, sustainability is embedded into the teaching methodology we have at the university. And why so? Because we want to create, leaders for tomorrow. So, and tomorrow we understand that the one of the basic challenges we have in our societies these days is about climate, the impact of CO2 on climate, for example, and other kind of sustainability issues like water, like health, like, other social issues. So we kind of, are training our students to whatever projects they're doing or whatever modules they're studying or whatever courses they're studying, they are quite strongly sustainability focused. And which is really good for you guys, because if you're going to learn this already here at the university, once you're going to go out, the best companies, the bigger corporations obviously expect you to be able to answer these kind of challenges to them. So you will be well trained on those things. So research and accreditation, we have world-class research. The business school is, for example, ranked second globally and first in Europe in entrepreneurship research. The research areas of business studies and economics are ranked best in Europe. You can see that we have EQUIS and ACSB accreditation, which is double accreditation, and only, I think 2% of the business schools in the world have double accreditation. So we are one of those schools. And about 90% of our students gain employment within 2 months after graduation, one of the highest rates in Sweden. And we were recently ranked top 100 as per Financial Times. The business school ranked among top 100 masters in management in 2021. So we are very happy for that. We have a very international profile. We have, I think, on campus, we are being represented by 70 or 80 different nationalities. We are ranked among top 25 universities in the world in student mobility. So we have a lot of options for our students to go abroad, do exchange studies or internships into our different foreign campuses. We have a lot of practical work experience, and so just some pictures around that. What can you expect, or what could be a potential expectation for you guys? So these are some of the examples which our students go through when they are studying at our classrooms. So they basically have to, the teaching pedagogy is about not just learning through the academics, but also applying that knowledge into practicality. Then we have field visits, and we also have real implemented projects by students, for students. And for example, this one is World Solar Challenge, which our students do this project where they build their solar panel car themselves, and then they run that project themselves, and then they are sent over to Australia, for example, every year, and the race is between say about 3,000 kilometers. 3,000 kilometers. So it's pretty long race actually, and so we are quite happy that for the last few years we have been competing we have been going into those kind of in that kind of race and competing with the other universities, and I think we were in top 10 in last race we had, so we are quite happy with the achievements. So you could also be one of the students who could become a part of this. Then we have Science Park. We have Science Park is a place where ideas can flourish, or Incubation Park, for example, where, for example, if you have idea and you want to see how to build upon that idea, Science Park is there to help you out, and not just to help you out, but also let you know about the legal aspect of things, or how to set up a business, or how to set up the legal entity in the country, and how to maybe secure funding, what could be the channels of securing funding and stuff like that. So all of that help comes for free, and then Science Park obviously provides you quite subsidized spaces for renting out to really try your businesses. And then it also provides incubation space where they go, even a deeper leg, where they help you to develop your business and get you the context for what venture capitalists and stuff like that. We have a lot of international environment. We have 350 partner universities and 800 host companies. You can meet real companies at the HR of the real companies at the campus, and I think these kind of events happen quite often. We get a lot of student union-led exciting trips. English is spoken by almost everyone, so if you are trying to think that if Sweden perhaps is a Swedish speaking country, yes, it is, but Sweden is very well renowned for, that everyone almost speaks really good English. So for you, if you know a little bit of English, or if you really want to practice English or learn more English, definitely this country will give you that platform. We have economics. In bachelor's, we are teaching economics, international management, marketing management, enterprise development, new media design, sustainable supply chain management, which is part of industrial engineering, and prosthetics and orthotics. The first 4 choices are the business choices, and the last 3 choices are the engineering choices. So, and we also are teaching a lot of master's education, for example, financial analysis, marketing, engineering management, logistics and supply chain management, applied economics and data analysis, digital business, global management, entrepreneurship. These were all part of business school. And then we have School of Learning and Communication teaching us interventions in childhood, sustainable studies, global studies, occupational therapy, learning digitalization and sustainability. And then the engineering school teaching us AI engineering, materials and manufacturing, product design, user experience design, production engineering and management, supply chain operations management, sustainable building information management for civil engineers. It's called BIM basically, and then user experience design for computer engineers or IT engineers or yeah. What are the requirements basically is obviously we need a level of English language from you. So we basically require 6.5 IELTS or 90 TOEFL. If you don't have 6.5, for example, then we also provide pathway education, which means that you can learn English with us first and then move over to your bachelor's or master's of your choice. So it depends. If you have a 5 IELTS, then you have to study pathway for 1 year. If you have 5.5, you can study pathway semester, 1 semester of English, or you can study 1 year of English, because then you might also need mathematics, for example. And then we have IELTS 6, for example, where you only need to go through pathway summer education for 4 weeks. And this is how the application and admissions happen. You basically check your eligibility. The second thing is you apply online. The third thing is you upload your required documents. And the fourth thing is that you basically, final year high school students can only apply through the local admissions. So don't worry about these steps, because on the website, for example, we have all of this process laid out. And once you're going to make the application, you will see this process as well. So everything is online. You have to upload everything online. And the only thing which is most important to remember is just make sure that you read the requirements for that program you're going to apply for, so that you can match those requirements with your background education. For example, if you have already studied bachelor's education, you can see that what kind of bachelor's is expected to study this program, or if you are going to study bachelor's or bachelor's education. So maybe some of the programs in engineering, for example, may require higher mathematics, higher physics, for example. So then we need to see that you have gone through a technical high school, or you have enough mathematics. So those kind of things, which is not so hard for you to check, because we, through IEFT, they also have a platform called Global Vision, which is an agency which helps students for applying abroad. So you can always get in touch with them if you're not so sure how to make the application, because then they can help you to make the application. They can also help you to look at your eligibility criteria to give you advice that if this would be a suitable program for you to apply or not. So fee and scholarship, we have, say about bachelor's is about 10 to 15,000 euros per year. The master's is about 12 to 15,000 euros per year. Pathway summer, pathway semester, and pathway year are 3,500 euros, 9,900 euros, and say about approximately 20,000 euros. And the fee for pathway education includes your not just tuition cost, but also your cost for your living for that amount of time, and 2 meals a day, for example. So the pathway, especially only the pathway education, have everything all inclusive in this price. But for the bachelor's and master's tuition cost, this is just the tuition cost. So you pay your living on top of that, and the living is approximately 860 euros per month, which is calculated by the Swedish governmental authority. But I know some of my students who live in this country and who are studying right now. Some of them go through, some of them are living in 500, some of them are living in 600, 700, depending on how you live, how you share, if you're cooking food at home. So it depends on your lifestyle, basically. So you can see, what I'm trying to say is that you could think about a lot of good economics if your budget is maybe not as high, but still this is something that is needed in terms for having a safe and equal standard living. The application fee is about 100 euros. We also provide 30% scholarship for the bachelor's and master's. And when you get 30% scholarship, it's applied on all of the years of your education. So for example, if your education is for 3 years, then 30% is applied to the first year, 30% is also applied to the second and also the third year. So just taking an example, if your fee is about 10,000 euros, the fee will become 7,000 euros each year for 3 years, right? And then you obviously will be paying, say, approximately 3,500 euros per semester as a tuition cost. And we only charge semester-wise. You don't have to pay the whole year together. You're just paying the semester's education. At your service, we provide guaranteed accommodation. We have a free pickup service. We have introduction week. We provide free health and accident insurance. We have largest exchange network. We provide Swedish courses. You're all allowed to work during your education as well. So basically, legally, you're allowed to work. Not just that, Sweden now has also changed rules, which means that once you come here as a student, after you finish your education, you can basically stay in the country for 1 year it's kind of a work finding visa after you finish your education. So it's another additive advantage for you to think about coming to this country, because it also gives you the possibility of and enough time for you to find work. And once you find work in this country, for example, you work here for 4 years, and then you can think about becoming a permanent resident. And if you work here for 5 years, legally, you have the right to apply for Swedish nationality, basically. So we have some of the videos of our students, and I think I'm going to click on one of the videos here, and you will see it will automatically go there. And I'm going to play that. So let me. Great.
A fish adds a certain sense of ambiance to a room. It's a connection you get, like with a dog. Except a dog can come to you, you can feel its love. A fish you can't, it's distant love. So close but so far. My name is Imran Mulji. I'm born in Uganda, born to a Swedish father of Asian origin and a Kenyan mother of Ugandan origin. Went to a boarding school for 12 years, came out, worked, came to Sweden. You shouldn't take life too seriously, Things always work out. Jönköping has been a gem in my life. But there's something about Jönköping that is just like home. Something lively about this city. I love it because it's small, it's practical, makes it easier for a man to go about his business. And the students, my days, I'm telling you, it's like a family here, I mean, I have friends today who, when I'm sick, they'll be knocking at my door, Those are the kind of people in Jönköping. once I'm done, I believe that it is very important to reinvest knowledge where it is needed. I mean, how did the Chinese get rich? You know. So I always wanted to go into the fishing industry, especially in South Sudan. The fish there are literally dying of age because no one is fishing. Fish has got plenty of opportunity, and what makes it even better is that it is the South Sudanese staple food. Future dreams? It would be nice to be rich. But, you know, as I say, I also want a flying pony, but I can't have that as well. So, try and fail, right? But don't fail to try. So, that's me.
So good. Okay. And I think I'm going to go back to the presentation and let's see. What are we missing? Can you see the presentation now, or?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. And can you see the next slide? Yes. Right?
Dream, make it happen.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. So this is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I know that Turkish people love football, so I'm pretty sure that you guys know about Zlatan anyways, and you know how provocative he could be with his statements. And I think it's one of those statements which I really love about him, about the statement as well, which means that I do not need a trophy to tell myself that I'm the best. So, and I think it's pretty Zlatan in this month, because he really believes in himself, and I think that we should all have this kind of psychology where we should really strongly believe in ourselves, and if we believe in ourselves, we can dream big and really make it happen. The next step is you need to apply and think about this beautiful picture, and think about yourself being somewhere in that picture later on. Thank you very much. So I think, should I stop sharing my screen, right? Let's see. Good. I can perhaps take questions now.
Yes, Jasim, thank you for your presentations.
Thanks, Zainab.
So we have quite a lot of questions in the question section. Do you want me to read them to you?
Yeah, that would be good, but because maybe I think some of them have written in Turkish, right?
I have translated it for you.
Okay. It's in the chat section, right?
In the question section.
Let's see. Where is the question section?
Next.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I see. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. If someone has IELTS 6 and fulfills other entry requirements for a bachelor's program, is he required to do pathway and bachelor's parallelly? Okay. If you have IELTS 6, Fahim, you need to you don't begin that in a parallel way. The way they are designed is that you first will finish your pathway education, and then you will transit into the regular program. So this one is pretty straightforward, because you will come here in July perhaps, and you will study for 4 weeks, the pathway summer, and then you will begin your bachelor's education in August. So let's see, how much can we earn in computer science master or anything related to web design and coding? Boris is Barish or Boris, I don't know how to say that, but anyhow, it's a good question actually. But what I can just simply give you is a broader picture, not a very specific one, but a broader one. In my opinion, if you have done computer science and you're good in coding and web designing, you could get anything between, and from my experience of what my other students are getting in the market, and so you can get between, say, about 3,500 euros to 4,500 euros, and but even if you get anything plus 3,000 euros is pretty good salary in Sweden. So 3,000, anything plus 3,000 euros, you would be extremely happy about it. And on this question, I would like to give you another perspective on this one. Why? Because think about it. Let's say you're spending 15,000 euros on your education for 1 year. And let's say you find work which is worth, let's say 3,000 euros. We don't take so big of a figure. If you earn 3,000 euros, in 1 year, you earn 36,000 euros. But you only spend 15,000 euros on your education. So the return on your investment is phenomenal. And that is why it makes a lot of sense to really invest into your knowledge, perhaps in these countries, because you can get really good return on that once you find work in these countries. Let's see. Okay, do you have professors we can work with in the field of mathematics or computer science or PhD? Yes. How can I reach them? Is doctoral scholarship or support provided? I have completed 7 universities in total. Okay, I kind of find this question quite familiar, because I met someone at the IEFT fair when I was there, and it seems like it's a very similar kind of a profile whom I met, and maybe the same person, I don't know. But yeah, so yes, to be able to meet our professors, obviously you're free to email them, but when it comes to PhD education is a paid education in Sweden. So you basically get paid for doing that education, which means that the application process is not the same as you apply for your bachelor's or master's. So you basically apply for like a job position at the university. And so whenever there's a new PhD position released, it's advertised on the website and on different kind of websites. And then everyone is free to apply for those kind of positions. So you basically fulfill the criteria given in those kind of positions, that what is expected of the people or the candidates who are trying to make the application. And a PhD, once you, let's say, get a PhD position at any university in Sweden, you could be expected to get approximately, I would say, close to 2,000 to 2,500 euros per month. So let's see. Fatma is asking, how long does it take to learn Swedish at C1 level, approximately, to work with children at an educator after a master's degree? Well, Fatma, the good thing is that if you come for 2 years of education in Sweden, then you can basically learn Swedish for free offered by the society. So, and that's the professional level of education I'm talking about. So if you are here for 2 years of education, no matter which university you go to, you can get free learning of Swedish language. And if you give, in 2 years of time, if you slowly give those 2 years, approximately 1.5 years to Swedish language, you would become really good. And I'm pretty sure with that kind of knowledge, especially in the field you're talking about, it wouldn't be so hard for you to find work, because Sweden is lacking these kind of skill sets, and they're always looking for more people to work in these kind of industries. Do you also offer online diplomas? No, sorry, we don't have online. The only online option we have is how do you say that? It's called occupational therapy. Yeah, we don't have any normal other kind of education online, not at all. Can you inform us about living conditions? Marve is asking. Yes, living conditions are superb, actually. The quality of living in Sweden is considered as one of the highest in the world, and I'm sure that once you're going to come here, you will just see that. And I know that some of our accommodations, for example, are worth 300 euros and some are worth 600 euros. If you go to an accommodation which is worth 300 euros, when it comes to like basic facilities and the stuff, the quality of living, you wouldn't find any difference. The only difference is perhaps there you're sharing with other people, but in 600 euros, you have really your very personal space where you have your personal washroom and you have a personal kitchen and maybe more recently renovated accommodation. That's the only difference, but the quality of living would be quite similar anyways. Do you suggest homestay or dorms? You will get EJ, you will get a lot of options to choose from, and you will see a lot of pictures as well before you make the choices for your accommodation. And we will do a separate webinar for the accommodation, which will be arranged by us through our platform, through Jönköping University platform. So stay tuned in with our website information, and the information for that webinar will be coming out soon. I think we will host that in March sometime. So you know. Okay, how does the orientation process go? Do you assist students with their needs for the first few months? Yes, Samet, don't worry about it. We have a service center. Then we have a lot of students who become your ambassadors. So they will be helping you, guiding you. And then we have a service center where you can always go and submit your problem and you will get the answer. EJ is asking which programs are most popular among the international students. Well, that really depends on what you like or what kind of profile you have. Everything what we are teaching is quite popular, I think. But yeah, I mean, for example, in undergrad education, new media design is really popular. In master's education, entrepreneurship, logistics and supply chain management, and some other programs are quite popular. Depends. And then we have AI engineering, and then we have building information management. So a lot of exciting programs profile we offer. Ida is asking, can I have an information about living expenses in Sweden? Yes, we covered that in the presentation, but I can also say that here. The living the expenses are about, the Swedish government expects you to have 860 euros per month approximately. But as I said, I have my students who are living on 500 euros, all inclusive, which includes their rent, it includes food, it includes their bus pass, everything. So then some are living 600, 700 euros. So it depends on your lifestyle, really. Yeah, and then I would say 600 to 860 euros is anything in between would be quite fairly easy for students to live. And it depends on your choices, obviously. Which programs do you offer in English? Everything we offer is in English language, Karim. Kirem or Kareem. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Fatma is asking, what does the scholarship rate depend on? Well, it's 30% scholarship, nothing less, nothing more. So if you apply for your education, you can apply for 30% along with it. And if you're selected for scholarship, then you get a fee waived off 30% every year of your education. I would like to ask about scholarships. Can we get scholarships or can we get discount? Yes, I just answered that, Faiza, or yeah, sorry about pronunciation once again. 30% is what we offer, and it's applied to every single semester. Marway, is there a minimum GPA requirement for grad programs? Depends on which school you're going to apply for. For example, if you're applying for a business school, then it's good to have more than or at least 2.5 GPA. But get in touch with me, Marway. I can drop my email address in the end, so that you have that email address. Once you make the application, do let me know about it, or you can already inquire about your application before you make an application by sending me an email of your documents, and I can look at it. Again, we are being asked from the same person, are we able to get work permit after we graduate? If yes, for how long? Yeah. So basically, you can also get your work permit during your education. So the law does allow you to do that. However, in Sweden, you also have the extra help where once you graduate, you finish your education, you can apply for 1 year of visa to stay back in the country to find work. And once you have found work where you are being offered work from some employer, or you want to run your own business, for example, then you basically work for 4 years to become a permanent resident in the country. Great. I think I've gone through all of the questions, right?
Yes, Jason, we have 2 new questions up top. Could you also please answer those two?
Let me go there. Okay, so what are the requirements for 30% scholarship for bachelor programs? So the requirements are that you need to have your 2 reference letters. You need to have your statement, your personal statement as why do you think we should offer you 30% scholarship, and what makes you a great candidate or a special candidate for receiving this. So you need to basically motivate us for getting this, and share your experience in that, or try to share something that really is inspirational for us, or what you think could be inspiration for us. Do I have the opportunity to both work and do a doctorate? Well, when you're doing a doctorate, that's work. So you don't need to do extra work while you're doing doctorate, because PhD education, as I said, you don't have to pay for it. You basically get paid for doing it. So if you're going to do PhD with us, you will be paid. You will be paid for doing that, and you wouldn't have any problem for living then. And it's a quite handsome amount of money, approximately more than, I think, 2,000 euros or something. So after applying and accepted to bachelor, how much time do we have to complete our enrollment and pay the half of the tuition fee? Can we apply in April and mid-May? Yes, well, our admissions are open from now until 2nd of May, but the application deadline period for scholarship is 15th of April. So I would highly suggest that you make an application before that time. And also try to make an application as early as possible, because we have a rolling admission, which means that if we have a lot of people who are applying for the education, and if we fill all of the seats, then we might close some of the programs before the deadline. So that's really important for you to think about those kind of stuff. And once you have made the application for your bachelor's, and let's say you're admitted and you have received a yes, and then you have received your tuition fee voucher, I think you have basically, once you make the application, you might be waiting for maybe 4 to 6 weeks before you hear an answer on your application. And then you will have, I think, 4 to 6 more weeks once you are admitted to pay the tuition cost. So don't worry about that process. And especially once you get into that time, please communicate with me, and I'll be helping you out. Don't worry about it. Yes. So let's see if we have, I'm planning to come with my family. Is it difficult to rent a house? Yes, Fatma, if you are planning to come down with your family, the sad part is that we, as a university, we guarantee accommodation, but only for students, not for the family members. So if you are going to come along with your family, then you will have to fix your own accommodation. And fixing your own accommodation could be quite tough in Sweden. And that is why I would highly recommend, if you plan to do this, once you're admitted in April or March or whatever time, from that time on, start to search for the accommodation for your family, and try to see if you could find through some of the social media channels or some of the there are other service platforms like Blockit or some other platforms that can help you to connect with people to see if someone is renting, stuff like that. So again, once you have made the application, you're admitted, get in touch with me. I can help you with those kind of links, so don't worry about it. Okay, let's see. Good.
Yes, thank you very much for your answers, Jasim. Also, could you please share your email address on the chat box so that the participants
yes,
can
I
directly
will
contact?
do that right now and say something nice. It says, so I'm going to say something nice, which is my email address. It's also my name. Okay, so let's see. Oops. U.se. And I will also drop my number for WhatsApp. So 0046 76 785 6639. Delete and Swedish. Boom. Yeah. So this is my mobile number where you can get in touch with me directly on WhatsApp as well.
Yes, thank you very much for the great
thank you, everyone.
presentation.
Yeah.
It was really informative for the attendees. And is there anything you would like to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, I would like to say that, I think it's a big choice when you are choosing your education, and obviously, I think my belief is that you will learn to fly only after you will get out of your comfort zone. So going to a new country, it gives you a lot of opportunities. It gives you a lot of possibilities to learn, those kind of things can really help you to build your future. I'm not saying that you will not be able to build your future in Turkey. Obviously, you can also do that, and you can do that perhaps really well. But what I'm saying is that if you're really into getting experiences, intercultural experiences, and grow your network, and get really innovative kind of education, then Sweden is a really, really good choice.
Yes, thank you very much again. It was yet another fantastic session with you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Zainab. You guys are always really good. So thank you, everyone, for attending this, and I look forward to maybe seeing you. And if you come to Jönköping, if you become a student, please do come visit me, and do remind me that we met during this IEFT webinar. So it would be, it would be really worth for me to follow that kind of story. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Again, also I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Jönköping University ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Jasim'e ulaşabilirsiniz. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Jasim. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Yeah, merhaba. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.